OpenAI Codex has spent 5 weeks at the bottom of this chart. Reliable, boring. About 190 stars a day, week after week. This week, it added 10,000 stars in 6 days. 1,678 a day, almost 9 times faster. From number 10 to number 2. The biggest jump in the history of this board. And that is only half the story. Last week, we asked one question: can a meteor survive gravity? 4 champions have won this crown. All 4 lost it in 7 days. This week, for the first time ever, the crown stays put. This is the AI Billboard, week 5. 10 AI tools, 1 chart, 1 number. Real momentum on GitHub, measured the same way for everyone. By the end, you will know what lit the fire under Codex, how DeepSeek broke a 4-week curse, and which repository just crossed 200,000 stars. Let's start with the weather. Last week, the market thawed. 4 of the top 10 got faster. This week, gravity came back. Only 3 of last week's top 10 sped up, and the meteor itself lost 3/4 of its pace. But look at the 3 that fought gravity, because they fought it hard. Codex up nearly 800%. ECC up 56. Buzz up 22. When this board rises now, it rises violently. Meanwhile, the door to the board got cheaper. 116 stars a day gets you in, down from 190. The ceiling is still in orbit. The floor is wide open. Remember that for later, because 10 new challengers are about to show up. Quick reminder on the math, because GitHub still keeps star history locked down. We record every repository's exact star total when we pull the board. 1 week later, we diff it against the live count, which is still public, and divide by the exact number of days. Stars per day. Week 5 is our second 100% own ledger board. Every repo measured against our own recorded totals from last Tuesday. No archive snapshots. No estimates. 1 ledger, 1 window. 6.1 days. Same math for everyone. Every number in this video is in the free PDF, so you can verify it yourself. Now, the purge. 2 tools fell off the board this week. Obsidian Skills. Last week's loudest comeback. It re-entered at number 7 with the biggest acceleration on the field, up 173%. This week, it gave nearly all of it back, from 254 stars a day down to 88, minus 65%, the hardest fall on the entire board from number 7 to number 14. Last week, we said the comebacks on this board are trends, not bounces. The board just corrected us. That one was a bounce. And Colibri, the pure C engine that spent 2 weeks locked in the closest race this chart has ever seen, finally lost the thread. Down 47% from number 9 to number 11. 1 spot off the edge. The twin race is over. 1 twin fell off the board, and the other one is clinging to it. The lesson stands. This board has no memory. The countdown starts now. Number 10. Marketing skills. Corey Haynes' library of ready-to-run marketing playbooks for Claude. 116 stars a day. 45,000 total. It barely slowed. Down 3%. And the collapse above it pulled it up 1 place. Through the door and onto the board. And that is the quiet lesson of week 5. While the flashy re-entries explode and die, the steady compounders inherit their seats. We hired its 47% marketing team on camera. That episode is linked below. Number 9. And week 5 has a debut. Prime Agent, Prime Intellect's open source research agent. The one that made headlines claiming it beat human experts. We tested that claim on camera, half real, half failed. And that episode is now public, which means the repo is finally eligible for this board. Here is the part I like. We never stopped recording its numbers while it waited outside the field. So its debut is measured on our own ledger. Same math as everyone else. 167 stars a day. 18,000 total. Straight in at number 9. Watch this one. Its parent lab ships fast. Number 8, OpenCut. Last week, the resurrection reached the top 5, and we asked whether it could reach the podium. It could not. The free CapCut replacement gave back 45% of its space. 176 stars a day now, 85,000 total, down 3 places. The arc so far reads champion, dead, number 8, number 5, number 8. At this point, that is not a resurrection. That is a heartbeat. The deep dive is linked below. Number 7. Anthropic's official skills library. Same story, bigger badge. Last week, it accelerated 40% into number 4. This week, it gave back 45, 185 stars a day, down 3 places to number 7. But zoom out before you write the obituary. 171,000 stars total. And it has now held a seat for 3 straight weeks since its re-entry. On this board, that is what winning slowly looks like. Our audit of the skills ecosystem is linked below. If this board just saved you one bad install, that is every week here, free. Subscribe or back the work. Join or support her on Facebook. Number 6. Number 6, ECC. The biggest repository on this entire board, 242,000 stars, just did something giants are not supposed to do. It accelerated from 211 stars a day to 329, up 56%, up 2 places. Last week, we called it slowdown gravity doing its job. This week, the giant shrugged gravity off and found a new gear. The full audit is linked below. Number 5, buzz. And finally, the bleeding stopped. Jack Dorsey's shared workspace won the crown in week 2 at the old record pace and then paid for it. Roughly cut in half, 2 weeks running. This week it turned from 288 stars a day up to 352. Up 22%, up 1 place, 30,000 stars total. The curse takes the title and then it keeps collecting rent. Buzz just made its first payment on the way back up. Number 4, OpenCode. It slipped 1 place, and it does not matter because this is the milestone week. 200,967 stars. OpenCode just became the second repository in this field to cross 200,000, and it did it while barely slowing down. 364 stars a day, of just 3%. The open source Claude code alternative is now a 200K institution. Our head-to-head against Claude code is linked below. Number 3, Orca. Last week we asked, if the meteor cools, does Orca take the crown back? Well, the meteor cooled 76%. And Orca still could not close the gap. Not because Orca slowed. Because it barely slowed at all, and it still was not enough. 766 stars a day, down just 6%. 52,000 stars total. That is essentially the crown-winning pace from 3 weeks ago, held for a third straight week. Orca has become something this board has never had before. A permanent contender, parked 1 lane behind a meteor, waiting for it to burn out. Number 2, OpenAI Codex. Stop and look at this one, because nothing like it has happened in 5 weeks of this chart. Codex is the board's oldest resident, the only tool that has survived every single week since week 1. And its entire personality was consistency. Around 200 stars a day, every week, forever. This week, 1,678, almost 9 times faster. 10,000 stars in 6 days. Number 10 to number 2, the biggest single jump in board history. So what happened? Receipts, not vibes. This was the week GPT 5.6 landed inside Codex. OpenAI shipped the stable release on Thursday, pushed roughly a dozen more builds over the next 4 days, and cut the API price of the sole model by more than 20%. The market noticed all of it at once. 116,000 stars total. The sleeping giant is awake, and for the first time, the crown has a challenger with a track record. Our full codex fact check is linked below. Number 1, Tool of the Week. For the second week running, and that sentence has never been said on this show. DeepSeek Harness, DeepSeek's official coding agent, faced the one test no champion has ever passed, a title defense. And gravity showed up exactly the way we said it would. The meteor lost 76% of its space, from 22,000 stars a day down to 5,300. And it kept the crown anyway. Because 5,300 a day is still more than 3 times the next fastest tool on this board. It added 32,000 stars this week. It is 11 days old. And it just passed Olama and Claude skills to become the third biggest repository on the entire field. 191,000 stars. The curse of the crown is dead. We tested this tool on day 1. That video is linked below. Now the honest version, because that is what this show is for. A 76% deceleration is enormous. Run that decay one more week, and the meteor lands around 1200 stars a day, which would put it behind Codex today. Champions on this board do not die from one bad week. They die from 2. The curse is broken. The question now is whether the crown survives week 3. DeepSeek Harness, Tool of the Week, week 5. So here is the full board for the week ending August 24th. DeepSeek Harness, the first champion ever to survive, on top. Codex the Rocket, at 2. Orca, the permanent contender, at 3. OpenCode, the new 200,000 star institution, at 4. Buzz, breathing again, at 5. ECC, the giant with a new gear, at 6. Anthropic's skills library at 7. OpenCut's heartbeat at 8. Prime Agent, the debut, at 9. And marketing skills, quietly compounding, holding the door at 10. Screenshot it. One more thing. Outside the field, it is getting crowded. Diagram design cooled from 1800 a day to about 790. That is still podium pace, but the rule is the rule. No episode, no listing. And behind it, 3 more are heating up. Semantica at 286 a day, Needle at 250, LLM Fit at 194. Every one of those would make this board. Which brings us to next week, because the field is about to get bigger. 2 of our episodes went public. So 10 new repositories start their clocks this week, including Unsloth, already at 74,000 stars, and heavyweights like Excalibur, Image, and OpenHands. They rank from week 6 on our ledger. Same math as everyone. So, 3 questions. Can DeepSeek Harness do the one thing left and defend twice? Does Codex keep climbing? Or was this 1 week of fireworks? And when 10 new names hit a wide open door, who gets purged to make room? Somebody rises. Somebody falls. That is the show. I packed this week's full chart into one free PDF. All 10 rankings with the exact numbers. The Codex spike with its receipts. Every measurement window listed so you can verify each count yourself. And the link to every deep dive in chart order. Comment the word chart and I will send it to you or grab it from the link in the description. If you are just getting started, my step-by-step beginner guides for Claude Code and OpenAI Codex are linked down there too. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as Hyperautomation Labs. So follow wherever you are watching. The chart resets in 7 days. And next week, 10 new challengers enter the field. Be here when the door gets expensive. I will see you at number 1.